Hi guys, welcome to Creative 404. My name is Alexandra and welcome to my very first tutorial. In this video, I'm going to show you how to take a sketch, put it in Illustrator, and make sticker sheets out of it. This is great for beginners, so let's get started. I've already done my sketch. Now I've loaded it into the scanner bed. Now I'm in the US, so I'm scanning to US letter. And I'm doing it at a resolution of 30 dots per inch, which is what DPI stands for. I'm going to scan it. Now, for some reason, when I use my Epson 2720, I can't scan from the display on the printer. I actually have to open up the scanner program on my computer, then scan it to the computer so that it actually scans. I have it currently connected to my USB. And eventually I will have it connected using wireless. So I have my scan now in my computer. It's on my desktop. Now I'm going to open up Illustrator. Alright, now that I've opened up Illustrator, I'm going to create a new document. And I'm going to make sure that it's a US letter, the same size that I used on my scanner bed. Alright, now I have opened up where I put my image that I scanned, and I'm just going to drag and drop it onto my my program here. And I'm aligning it center to center on my artboard. I'm going to open up the layer and I'm going to lock it so that it doesn't move around while I create this particular image. So let's start with the top right. I have this little teddy bear. He's not quite divided in half, but I had a good idea of what I want his shape to be, so I'm going to use the pen tool. The pen tool is right here. Now, this isn't a complete newbie beginner kind of tutorial. You do have to have some basic knowledge of Illustrator. Otherwise, I would suggest trying to find an Illustrator Basics tutorial, but I will do this tutorial for those that are still beginners. It's just not for absolute beginners. So I've clicked the pen tool, or I pressed P on my keyboard, and I'm going to click and drag. This will create a bezier curve. If I hold shift, it will align it to either a 0 degree, 45 degree, 90 degree. I want it to go 0, and I'm just going to make little bezier curves by clicking and dragging. Now, if you are going clockwise like I am now, you're going to drag in the direction that you are going in. So I am going to click and drag and go in the direction here. I have my smart guides on. If your smart guides are not on, which are the magenta colors that you see, you can go into view and turn on your smart guides. I made sure that this last point, or this anchor point, is aligned perpendicularly to, well, it's aligned completely across from the one that I started with. Now I have this curve, and I've wanted to go back to where I started to close off the curve. But as you can see, it's kind of still curving, and I want it to go straight. So after you've clicked that last point, click it again, and it will get rid of one of those bezier handles. Then you're going to go up and close that curve. Now you have a closed curve. I got rid of the fill so that you can still see the sketch. I'm going to Shift Alt click that particular shape and drag it across. That will make a duplicate. I'm going to let it go, then I'm going to right click it, transform, and reflect. I'm going to reflect across the vertical axis and press OK. Now I have a reflection of that curve, and I'm going to drag it so that it connects completely. So this shape here connects to this shape here. Now I'm going to click both shapes. I'm going to go to my Pathfinder. Now if you don't see this window here, you're going to go to Windows, Workspace, Essential Classic. And you should see your Pathfinder in this box. It's going to be one of your tabs. So I have them both clicked still, and I'm going to unite them. Ta-da! Pretty cool, huh? Now I'm going to go to the center and drag a ellipses. And I'm going to do that by finding the center with my what is it called again? With my smart guide. It's going to find the center for you. I'm going to click and drag by holding Alt, and that will give me an ellipses. It's not a circle since it is kind of oblong shaped, and I just pushed it back to where I wanted it. So now I'm going to create another circle. Now I've been clicking the ellipses tool by pressing L, but you can click it over here on this section. I'm going to click and drag another circle, but this time I'm holding Alt and the Shift button. This will make a perfect circle, and that was for the eye. I'm also going to make an ear by making sure it's on the path of my pen tool. I'm going to shift and click the path. This will create a new path. Then I'm going to kind of envision a triangle from this point to the top of this curve to the bottom. And once I imagine that triangle, I'm going to click the top and drag a bezier curve. And then I'm going to go down and create the bottom portion, creating another bezier curve, and then I'm just going to connect it. Now you have this ugly looking line now across your bear, so I'm going to click the body of the bear, Control C, Control Shift V, and that will copy, paste, and place on top of this particular curve. So you have over here on the right where you see your layers, you have your ear, then you've made a duplicate of the body on top of the ear. You're going to click the minus front button, and that will get rid of that little piece right there. Now I'm going to make a nose, because my nose itches and he needs a nose. So I'm going to go from the half point and just make a easy triangle, which for some reason didn't want to work. There we go. Then I'm going to take this anchor point that's on the top right of the triangle, and I'm going to use this little insert curve tool. And now I have a curved part of the nose, but it's only half the nose. So again, I'm going to Shift and Alt and drag another nose, right click it, transform, reflect, vertical. Then I'm going to drag it. Get in there. I saw you. Get in there. There it goes. Nope. There. Nope. There. Now that it's there, I'm going to go and unite. And now I got a cute little nose. But I'm missing an eyeball and I'm missing an ear. So how do I make those? So I'm going to go out. I'm going to copy the body. I'm going to Control Shift V, another body on top, and then I'm going to do Control Shift Scale by drag and dropping scale. So I went Control, I'm going to click Alt Shift, then click this corner and scale up a larger body. So it's surrounding the area that I am creating. Now I'm going to click the ear and the eyes, and I'm going to go Control Copy, Control Shift V. I have them selected. Then I'm going to click that outside body, and then I'm going to right click, transform, reflect, vertical. Okay, now I have another eyeball and ear. Then I'm going to drag, select the outside circle, delete, and now I have a bear. He's pretty. And I'm going to do that for all these faces that I only have the right side of the face created. And I'm going to copy the body and the ears and just replace the face. Although I might change the body shape because I'm not liking that shape too much. But we will see. So I'm going to do that real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and I wanted to show you these last two faces. So for this little face here, I have two circles actually, or just one circle. So I'm going to click and Shift Alt drag a circle. My circle's a little too thick, so I'm going to go up to my stroke and make it sure it's a 1. Now, as you can see, it's oblong shape. It has a sort of half circle cut in half. So what I'm going to do is create a half circle. And how I do that is I'm going to click C for this cut tool, it's for the scissors tool. And I'm going to click this anchor and this anchor. Then I'm going to click V on my keyboard, click that bottom half of the circle and press delete. Now it's gone. But I want this to be a closed loop. So I'm going to press the pen tool, click one anchor, and then click the other anchor along the bottom. Then I'm going to drag it down. Now I have a little half circle. I also want to repeat this nose. So I'm going to click this nose, hold Alt, and drag the nose down to where I want to by continuing holding Alt to create a duplicate. I'm going to let go, and then I'm going to scale it down by holding Alt again and Shift to keep it to the same ratio. And that is how you get a little nose. I'm going to press this button for a line tool. It looks like this front slash. It's the line segment tool. And I'm going to click this anchor, Shift, and drag all the way down to create the bottom portion of the nose. Then again, I'm going to press L for this button here, which is the ellipse tool. I'm going to find the middle of this eyeball, Shift, Alt, and drag a nice little eyeball. Now to get this to scale to the other side, I'm going to copy this nose, Control Shift V, Shift Alt, scale it up. Then I'm going to click this eyeball, Control Copy, Control F to paste in front, click the outside nose, transform, reflect, across the vertical, OK, click anywhere away from the items you have, then click that outside nose and delete it since you don't need it no more. Now you have another face. I'm going to do the same for this nose. I'm going to just use my pen tool and make sure that it is centered. It doesn't want to look like it wants to be centered. Here we go. You gotta trick it sometimes. For some reason, I need to go to my properties panel, so I'm going to press Control K. It'll bring up my preferences or my properties. I'm going to unclick the scale, stroke, and effects. I don't really want that while I am creating these, so I'm going to go Control A to select all the items in my board. Go into the stroke, press the number 1, and now everything is a 1-point stroke. I'm going to press V, click this nose, Shift Alt drag to make a duplicate, let it go, transform, reflect, vertical. Don't know why it was at the angle for a second, it's confused me. Then there we go. Again, these are just repeating actions. You just do that a lot and a lot. Control C, Control F, click the outside, transform, reflect. Awesome. Make the bottom part of the nose. Now, one thing I don't like is how this line just abruptly stops into this kind of rectangular shape. So I'm going to Control A to control everything that I have currently on my board. I'm going to the stroke and I'm going to click the name of the stroke. For the cap, I want it to be a circular cap. For the corners, I want it to be a rounded joint. And I like the effect of this because it gives me a very rounded look for my lines. And here are the faces for my teddy bear. I'm going to click and drag to select all these pieces. I'm going to go Control Group to group them. I'm going to do that to all of these little bear faces. Awesome. Then I'm going to shift and click both of these ears and the body, Control Group, and then Shift and Alt drag a new body. I'm going to move these faces out of the way real quick. And I want this face to be the one that's there. So now we have that face. Just looking to see what else is there. I'm going to turn off my sketch later because it's getting in my way now. I'm going to shift and drag more bear bodies. And I'm just going to put the faces. I'm going to constantly hold Shift and Alt and let it go when I need to scale it up and down. I want it to be in the middle. If it's not in the middle, I'm going to Shift click the body, then Alt click the body again, then go to my Align tool and horizontal align center, making sure it's in the center of the body. I'm going to do that again. Scale it down a little bit. Shift, drag, Alt. Shift, Alt, drag. Put another face, scale it down. And now I have 6 little teddy bears all ready for sticker sheets. You're going to do that for the rest of your sketch page. Just constantly shift dragging and making sure to use your pen tool to outline all of your faces. And it's basically, that's it. That's the basics that I use for making the outlines. Excuse me. Now I'm going to show you how to color them. So I have this color palette. Now you could go on Google and find any type of color palette you want and then use the eyedropper tool to grab the colors from it. but I've already created this color palette. And what I'm going to do is, so what I'm doing is click, dragging all of these teddy bears. I'm going to go Control Shift G to ungroup everything, just real quick, so that I can show you how I color my illustration files. So I'm going to click this body, and I like this brown right here. Uh-oh, what happened to his face? Well, I'm going to click his body again, Control Shift bracket, or it's this it's the square bracket, and that will send it to the bottom. Now I want his nose, his snout, and then his nose. I want his nose to be pink. There we go. Maybe not. Maybe this color? That looks better. And his eyeballs are going to be this light brown. Oh, that looks kind of creepy. No, let's do the black. Here we go. His ears are going to be the same color as his body. Now we have a really cute teddy bear, but what I like to do is add a stroke around it just to really pump up the feel of this little illustration. So I'm going to click his body and his two ears. I'm going to go to where the fill and the stroke are, and I'm going to alt click the fill and drop it into the stroke. Now his stroke is the same color as his fill. So I'm going to bring the stroke up by clicking it, double click it to open it, and I'm on the brightness setting of my stroke color. I'm going to bring the brightness down to almost a black, so it's like a deep dark brown. And now he has a dark brown outline around his ears and his body. I'm going to do the same for his eyeballs. I'm going to click the fill, hold Alt, drag it to the stroke, so the stroke is now the same color, double click the stroke and bring it down to a dark black color. I'm going to do the same to his snout, Alt drag, double click, bring it down to a darker color, and now he has a darker snout. Oh, it's too dark. Hold on. Bring it a little lighter. There we go. I'm not going to do that for his nose because I want his nose to be kind of outside, sort of like it's part of the snout. I'm going to drag and select the bear, Control G to group it, and now I have it all grouped. I'm going to do the same to all the other bears, but for this bear, I'm going to show you something really important. For making stickers, I have to add a white border. This is just so that when it prints out, it prints nicely and it doesn't end up cutting off my bear. So what I'm going to do is Control C and Control B. Now you have a duplicate of the bear completely under the bear that's on top. Don't click anything else. You're going to go to Object, Expand. Alright? You're going to expand the fill and the stroke. Press OK. OK. You're going to go to Pathfinder. You're going to create a Unite. So now you have what looks like a blue line all the way around your bear. You're going to go up to your fill. You're going to make sure it's white. Then you're going to go to your stroke. Make sure it's white too. Now you have a tiny little stroke of white around it. I'm also going to make it not 1 point, but 4 points. That way you have a nice little outline around your bear. I'm going to drag and select both copies of the bear, Control Group to group it. And there is your sticker. Now to make the sheet. I'm going to do that repeatedly over and over again to the other bears. Awesome. So now you have all your bears colored. I'm going to put him at the end so that they just look nicely. Now, what I'm going to do is make what I call a petite sticker sheet. So you're going to go to File, New, and my petite sticker sheet are 3 by 4 inches. So 3 by 4 inches on your canvas board. Alright, I'm going to go back to where I sketched my stickers. I'm going to go Control Copy. I'm going to drag and select, then Control Copy, and then Control V. Now I have my little stickers in my palette. Right now they're about an inch tall. That isn't too bad. I think I want them to be about 75 inches. So I'm going to click them all. I'm going to put the height and make sure that the ratio is constrained. I'm going to put the height as 0.75. Awesome. Now, I've done that. Make sure that the scale is not selected. I want my strokes to be 1. And now I'm just going to lay them out on this particular sheet that I have. I'm going to make sure that they are aligned centered. So what I'm doing is I'm clicking this one, shift clicking the next one, then alt clicking it again and making sure that it's centered by center horizon or vertically. Going to shift select all of them, shift alt and create a duplicate. I think I can make one more. Uh-oh, it's a little too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift select each row and group them. Okay, group. Can't make group with objects in different groups. Uh-oh, what happened? Who's in a different group? There we go. Don't know why it did that. Now I've selected all of them. They're all in different groups. Now I'm going to click this distribute space horizontally. Then I'm going to Control Shift G to ungroup them. I'm going to select these guys here. No, I'm going to select these guys here on the top row. And then Shift, Alt, drag down. Now I have a duplicate. Control A, Control G. There we go. Now I'm just going to make a little border. I want this to be about 0.25 inches tall. I'm going to align it to the canvas or the artboard. I want it to be centered to to the top. I don't want a stroke, so I'm going to get rid of it. I want the fill to be this brown here. I'm going to drag another one all the way down to the bottom. I'm just going to create a title. I'm going to call this Teddy Bears. How about Petite Teddy Bears? Awesome. I'm going to make sure that the paragraph is center aligned. Then I'm just going to drag him to the center of my canvas board. I kind of like the Bookman old style. No. Yes. In bold. There we go. It's a little too big, so I'm going to bring it down a couple of pixels. Use my arrow keys to nudge it. And now I have this easy little title. On the bottom, I'm going to put, I'm alt shifting and dragging a duplicate to the bottom. I'm going to put my channel name, which is Creative 404. I pressed Shift A to select it all. I want it to be this cravat. I want the color to be white. I'm going to click this selection tool and select it out. And now I have the title of my sticker sheet on the bottom. This is just a tutorial, so I want it to be working well. Now, here's an important part. We have this piece, and then in the middle here we have nothing. Well, I'm going to export this as a PNG. Anything that nothing sits on is actually going to be transparent. Let's look at my layers. All right. I have this layer here that I've grouped all of my bears to. That's going to be my stickers. The rest of it is going to be my backing card. And I want my backing card to be one full square. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my rectangular tool again. That's what I use to create this. I sometimes forget to say something and just press M. So I'm going to my rectangular tool. I'm going to go to the white. Even though it's showing white here, when you export it as a PNG, it's going to be transparent. So I'm going to drag a white box right where that was. Now to make sure that that stays white, that there's no gaps in between, I'm going to delete this bottom box. Then I'm going to delete this, I'm going to take this top box and drag it all the way down. This is just so that I have all these seams between colors completely, there's not going to be some transparent pixels between. I don't want transparent pixels. Now I'm going to go Control A, Control G, and now I've grouped all of this. I'm going to turn back on my bears, but they have disappeared, so I'm going to drag them on top. Now I have my bears on top of what is going to be my backing card. So you can turn them on and off by clicking the little eyeball. I'm going to File and Save As. I'm going to save it on my desktop. I'm going to call this Petite Teddy Bears. Save. Save again. Alright, here comes the important part. We're going to turn off the teddy bears and leave the backing card. We're going to go File, Export, Export As. We're going to go Teddy Bears. Then I like to put the parentheses back. Make sure your file type is a PNG. Press Export. Make sure this background color is transparent. Make sure it's high resolution. And you have the art interpolation as super sampling. Press OK. Alright, now we're going to do the opposite. We're going to turn on the teddy bears and turn off your backing card. You're going to go to File, Export, Export As again. We're going to go Teddy Bears, parentheses, front. Export. OK. Now we have the images we need for the teddy bears. We don't need the scanner anymore. So we have the project file, we have the front, and we have the back, plus the scanned sheet. Now we're going to go to the Start menu, and we're going to go to the Cricut Design Space. We're going to go and add a new project. And then we're going to go to Upload. Upload an image, browse. Going to go to the teddy bear back. I'm going to click Simple, continue. Looks good, continue again. Print and cut, upload. We're going to do this again. We're going to do browse, front, simple, continue. It may look a little bit different. Don't worry. Continue. Click the print then cut image, upload. Then we're going to click the back and the front, insert the image. All right. Now we have the front and the back, but we want the back to be completely cut out, which is called a die cut. And then we want this to be on top so that it is kiss cut, which is only the little bears so that you can pull them out. So to do that, you're going to duplicate the back. In my case, I'm going to duplicate it twice. So now we have 3. We're going to take the bears and drag them back to the top. See? Now we're going to shift and select all of these layers. We're going to click the Align Center Horizon, Align Center Vertically. Then we're going to right click, Attach. Awesome. Now that they're attached, you'll notice that the sizing is wrong. Remember, our artboard size was 3 by 4 inches. So making sure that the lock proportions is on, you're going to click the W portion, which is the width. We're going to do a 3. And automatically that will turn into a 4. I want the position of this to be 0 and 0. Then I'm going to duplicate this entire piece. It's going to be 3.25 for the position of X and 0 for the position of Y. I'm going to right shift select, attach again, duplicate again, but this time I'm going to put 4.25 and 0. Oop, no, sorry. I'm going to put 0, 4.25. There we go. We make mistakes sometimes. I'm going to shift select all of these and I'm going to attach them again. Now I have all 4 pages attached. Over here on the, my face might be blocking it, but that's fine. But we have all of these pages now attached. Now we're going to make it. Looks good. Continue. Now I'm going to send it to the printer. I'm going to unclick Bleed, click the System dialog, press Print. I want my Epson printer. I'm going to go to my Preferences. Now when it comes to this Epson printer, it's going to say Standard. We want it to be more than the high standard. I'm going to go to More Settings and go to the highest quality it possibly can go. Press OK. Now I'm using regular sticker paper. If I was using something that was glossy, I would change it to these glossy settings. But I'm just using plain paper. I want it to be the More setting. I have a little cheat that I added over here in the presets, which would automatically do all of these for me. So if I click this, it actually goes to this More setting and make sure that it's the highest quality. This is just a little cheat that I did. You can add and remove presets as you get along going with your sticker making. So I'm going to press OK. I'm going to press Print. And then behind me, the stickers are going to print. Okay, we got this beautiful little sticker sheet now. Now what do we do? Well, now we put it in our Cricut. I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, now I have my cutting mat and I am opening it up. This one is used. I've used it a lot. Now I have my bare sticker paper that I just printed off. And if you look on this display right here, you can see how the orientation is supposed to be. So you want it to match. You want it to go from this top left corner where it says 1 to 1, and then you see where it says the Cricut logo and this little tab on the top. I am totally doing it wrong. See what I mean? You gotta check. So you want this tab on the top to be the top of your Cricut, and then you want it to match just exactly as it shows. Just like so. And I'm just going to use my hands to gently get all the bubbles out. If there's any bubbles, make sure the edges are nicely adhered. And make sure that the lines are pretty straight. This will give you the best cut. And if you don't see good cuts, you're going to have to go to the calibration tool, which you can't do when you're already in the making setting. So you're going to have to cancel and do the calibration, then come back to this point. So I'm going to set my base material, and I'm going to use printable vinyl, which is what this is. You go to Browse All Materials, you go to Vinyl, here, and printable vinyl is going to be on the bottom. I marked mine as a favorite, so it'll show up on the screen right here, or right here actually. So it's going to be up there. So I'm press that, I click it, I press done. I want my pressure to be the default pressure, but my blade has been feeling kind of dull, so I'm going to give it a little bit more. If you have a brand new blade in your machine, you're going to do less. And then if you start noticing the cuts looking kind of jagged or just not clean, or it doesn't go through the paper, you're just going to slowly press more. So starting from less, then default, then more. So I'm going to do more since my blade is starting to get kind of dull. Everything down here is pretty good. Now I'm going to put this in the Cricut machine. Isn't this great? We now have 4 sticker sheets from just a little sketch. I am so excited. So my blade is a little dull, so it doesn't want to always come out cleanly, but that's fine. It means it's just a little perforated, but I can take it out. And now I have 4 different sticker sheets. I'm so excited. Look at these tiny little bears. They are so cute. They're little petites. I am so excited. They're so adorable. And now we have 4 sticker sheets we can list on our Etsy store if we'd like. They are so cute. I am so happy. Like, it's so great. Let's see how they come off. Yes, look at that. Oh my God. Ah, they look like little wobbles. Oh my God, they're so cute. Can you see? So that's how you do a sticker sheet from start to finish. I really hope you were able to follow along okay, and I hope that you too can create your own sticker sheets from just a little sketch that you have in your sketchbook to Illustrator to Cricut to your hands. So it's so great to see your artwork turn into something fantastic, something that you could share with others, something you can sell online, whatever you dream. It's just so fun, and and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, please give it a like. Send me a comment if you'd like to say something, and subscribe if you want to see more like this. Bye bye now. Gonna put it on my nose. Do, 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 do. Got a sticker on my nose.